I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town. What the hell's wrong with me? I don't get along with anybody, honestly. I've been living in my own head constantly, thoughts jumbled round, think I need a new lobotomy. Wait, all these thoughts are too negative, I don't wanna get lost in the sedative. Gotta show them what I got, I'm competitive. You know I'm about to go.
Welcome back again to Tuesday Night Talks. Welcome back again to Dave's Dimension, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. And of course, you're home for tech, toys, and talk. Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday night. Now, you might be saying, Dave, we only see you. What's going on here? So, well, we're supposed to be featuring Nick Channel, and hopefully he's going to join us. Because as you guys know, I've been trying to do this initiative for the channel. I want to help other YouTubers out. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm heavy into tech videos. I follow a lot of tech channels. I'm in, obviously, the toy community. I'm all over the place, and I want to help other channels grow. So what I've done is I've opened the floodgates. The portal to the dimension is constantly open for anyone and everyone to come on. Now, I had a young man reach out to me, Nick Channel. His channel features a lot of, Power Ranger content, and also he's planning to release videos, giving background, kind of showcasing Legend of the White Dragon. Nick, I messaged him earlier. He has the StreamYard link, but he's not here yet. I'm hoping maybe things are just running late. But until then, we're just going to go ahead and do a regular hangout stream until he arrives. And it looks like he is arriving right now, guys. Nick Channel, welcome to Dave's Dimension and Tuesday Night Talks.
What's up?
How you doing? Well, not
Good.
much.
You?
Oh, hey, I'm above ground. That's a good thing, guys. So we already have a few people in the chat. I want to welcome, of course. We got Batman. Oh, it's Brent. Oh, okay. I know exactly who this guy is. We got Brent in chat, and of course we got Bill of Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. That guy's he's definitely he's a YouTuber you probably want to follow. He covers just about everything that's out there. He's into collecting. He has awesome streams on the weekends. You definitely want to check him out. But Nick, welcome to Dave's Dimension. First off, the channel where chaos and insanity reign supreme. Okay, so this is a channel where we go crazy. We go and cover all kinds of topics. Now, you told me, because you were messaging me through Instagram, that your channel is very heavy with Power Ranger content, right?
Yeah. I interview people from Power Rangers.
Awesome. Now, let me ask you, first off, let's give a little background. Where are you from?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, okay. Nice. Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, good. I actually got family out that way. So what made you get into YouTube?
Interviews I was. The Austin St. John interview that I was in Austin St. John interview. That's what got me into doing interviews.
Okay. Awesome. And well, since you're into that, since you said Austin St. John, is he one of your favorites?
Yes.
Is he still one of your favorites? Because I know lately he's been a little bit controversial lately, getting in the news a little bit. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it's honestly sad. It's sad that what he's been doing, to be honest. Yeah, but I don't know if he's still one of my favorites. I haven't decided yet, but I think he still is.
Okay. Well, we got Rolando. Rolando, you may not know who he is. Rolando is what I call our multiversal moderator. He jumps in a lot of people's different streams, okay?
Yeah.
But he's known for sharing other people's links. He's all about promoting. He is the PR guy of the YouTube community, let's just say. He loves jumping from stream to stream, and he loves sharing people's links. So I love Rolando, of course, always on point. He's already sharing your link in the chat. That's awesome. I want to say hello to Pod Racing Palpatine. Palp, I hope you're having a great night. So we got a few people trickling in. This is a little bit earlier than I usually stream, so a lot of people
Yeah.
are probably not even aware that we're live. Uh-oh, we got Collecting Cool. Rolando rules the Streamverse. Yes, he is. Yes, he does. He is the Streamverse. So, now, as far as Power Rangers content, do you cover every single series? Like, I understand you're mainly interviews,
was.
right? I know you do mainly interviews, but
Yeah.
if you had would you cover, if you had the opportunity to interview everyone from every season, would you do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite Power Ranger season? Or how about this? We'll make it a little easier. What would you say are your top 5 Power Ranger seasons?
Mighty Morphin.
Your top
Beast
5
Morphers,
favorite ones
Dino,
you could watch over and over again.
Mighty Morphin, Beast Morphers, Dino Fury, and Cosmic Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Okay. Now, I'm going to answer that question myself because I'm a Power Ranger fan. I'd have to say, obviously, Mighty Morphin. Because of Green Ranger.
Yeah.
Tommy's my OG favorite. Rest in peace, Jason David Frank.
I got the old Dragon Zord. The 1993
Nice.
Dragon Zord I got in my bedroom.
Nice, very cool. I'd have to say Mighty Morphin. I kind of like I'm partial to In Space. SPD is a hardcore favorite of mine. Dino Thunder, because of course it brought Tommy back into the fold. He was a mentor, and of course got to get back into the thick of it. And I gotta say, I probably really liked Cosmic Fury. I think it was a step up. It was kind of like the Rangers growing up a little bit. I liked a lot of this. I'm a big Ranger fan. I'm hopeful for the future. Even though there are some content creators in the community who seem to think that the ending of Boom Comics, the lack of any merchandise being promoted by Hasbro,
Yes.
and also the fact that there doesn't seem to be anything in production right now, I don't think that's a bad sign. I'm a big sci-fi fan. There's a show called Doctor Who. It ran from 1963 until about 1987. And then it went on a hiatus. There was nothing made until 2005. And now that show is bigger than it's ever been through its entire run. So
this could be a good thing for Power Rangers that's taking a break.
It could be, but I think because it's a show centric around, I mean, let's face it, it started off as a cheesy kid show. Okay, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Right? Honestly, the same thing happened with Doctor Who. It was a children's show back in the 60s. Okay?
Yeah.
But I'll say this. Power Rangers, if they let Power Rangers fade away, it's going to be dangerous. What I think they need to do is I think they need to have some kind of a presence. Whether it's, they could go the route of taking the original Mighty Morphin series, take the audio of the show, animate it, do like CGI animation. As Transformers did something similar back in the early to mid 90s. They did something similar where they took the original G1 series and they kind of try to add more CGI effects to it, to the regular animation. There's a lot of different roads they can take. Honestly, I know a lot of people like, hey, let's make a Ranger movie. Let's start over again. No, we did start over a couple years ago. The Power Rangers 2017 movie. I personally enjoyed the hell out of it. I think they just need to have some kind of Ranger content. And not for nothing, I've seen better Ranger content. Well, I don't want to say that. The past 2 years, I think we had the best Ranger content than we had in probably the past 10 years. With Cosmic Fury, because Cosmic Fury took the show into a different direction. And of course, once and always, if you're a Ranger fan, especially if you're an MMPR fan, once and always was like it was a kick in the pants. It was that this is what we needed to see. We needed to see things go a little bit darker, a little bit further, and we needed to see that the OGs could still do it, and they definitely can.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: how long have you been on YouTube for? How long have you been making content?
I started last year,
Last year, okay.
I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Now, obviously, I know personally through our conversations, you want to grow your Instagram. And by the way, he does have an Instagram. In fact, Rolando shared it in the chat. There it is, Nick Tillett on Instagram. So go ahead and follow him there. He uploads and goes live on the regular on Instagram. So please check him out there, but also subscribe to him on YouTube. Now, where do you see yourself? And let's say, do you see yourself still doing this in 5 years?
Maybe. I still.
Okay. Now, being in
I'm
YouTube
not
for
sure, though.
What was that?
I'm not for sure though if I'll still be doing it in 5
Okay.
years. I'm not.
And that's the thing. YouTube is it's a door that anyone can step through. It has its ups and downs, just like with life and social media in general. Now, you want to keep this going, obviously. Now, let me ask you,
Yeah.
if you could do anything for your channel, okay, or if you could set a goal, let's say 5 to 6 years from now, where do you want to see your channel? What do you want your channel to be doing at that point in time? I mean, do you want to be able to? Do you want to get to the point where maybe you could do this full time, or do you just want to do this for fun? I mean, do you see yourself? Do you want your channel? I mean, obviously, let's be honest. Everyone wants to hit those numbers and become monetized and have the easy life, but that's not always the case. Very few get to that point. What are your ultimate dreams? Like, if you had a wish list, like say someone came up to you and says, "Hey, I can make 5 wishes happen for your channel." What are those wishes going to be? It could be, in a once in a million interview, or it could be, maybe doing a live stream at a con or being featured at a con. What are your five wishes for your channel?
To be invited to a Comic-Con and do interviews and to make money also doing it.
Okay. Are there any specific Power Ranger actors or directors, writers, musicians behind the scenes who you would love to interview that you haven't already interviewed yet?
I know I would like to interview Austin St. John one day.
Okay.
When he's not going to the pharmacies right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
those who may not know, Austin St. John was going through, I want to say, a criminal proceeding or criminal investigation because his name was used in a fundraiser initiative, which ultimately wound up being a bit of a Ponzi scheme. So that was kind of a crazy thing that happened, and that's been going on for about 3, maybe 4 years now. The whole investigation, and now apparently there's a little bit of culpability now on his part. So apparently he's kind of like, because honestly, you can't be any celebrity and just like, oh yeah, I'll sign this. Yeah, you can use my name to this. Obviously, he signed off to allow this organization to use his name for recognition. If you sign your name to something, or you're allowed to lend your name to something, you better keep your damn eyes on it. You better keep the eye on the ball, because you don't know who, even if it's a trusted friend, you just never know who's going to turn you in. Years ago, Michael Vick, former Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, and ultimately Eagles football player, Um, he had family. He had family living with him in his big mansion. It turns out that one of his cousins or whatnot was running a dogfighting ring at his house, his mansion, his big ginormous house. But because it was his property, they said it was him, and he got a lot of heat. So you just got to be careful when you're lending your name to things. And that's one thing I want to mention to you, Nick. In YouTube, there's a lot of great people out there. I've met a lot of great people, but I've also run into a few people who are maybe not so great. It's great to, jump on and collab with people, but also sometimes you need to take a look at, watch some of their older videos or watch, different sporadic videos and kind of try and get a feel for that person. There's a term called vetting. You want to verify that person, so to speak. I've seen it in my early days where I tried to partner up with someone on something, and we were doing a show reviewing different. We were reviewing this one sci-fi show. We were doing it on a regular basis. It was me, him, and another partner. The one partner kind of had to step back, but that was because of family, and plus he was on the West Coast, different time zone, so it's hard to make the schedules work. Okay. But this other person, they just kind of like faded away. They didn't give me any reasons as to why they weren't joining me anymore. They just kind of like vanished and kind of ghosted me a bit. So you got to be careful of that kind of stuff. Like if you're going to join in or if you're going to partner up with someone, you're going to collab with someone, do a little bit of research. Make sure that there's someone that you can work with and that you can trust and that you actually work well with. Just like, your friends. If you're going to go somewhere with, let's say you're going to take a road trip with a friend, right? You want to make sure that there's someone who you can actually trust. You're just not going to meet someone and say, hey, 5 minutes later, hey, let's go on a road trip. You want to find people who are aligned with the same goals and, maybe the same personality as you. Because you never want to butt heads with people. A year ago, I started me and a good friend, Dre, the Collector Safe Space. We were friends. We met through YouTube, and ultimately, we decided to go in on a podcast and live stream that we still run, the Outer Dimensions podcast. But that's the thing where, like, sometimes I've seen people who will bounce between 5 or 6 different guest hosts throughout a year.
Yeah.
Some people don't always last, some do. So all that I want to give you is a little bit of advice of, kind of, get a feel for who you might be working with or who you might want to work with, Try to get all the information, because sometimes on YouTube, you get this person who, they're putting on this personality, but that's not really who they are, And that's one thing that there's a lot of people who are genuine. Those are the people I personally gravitate towards. Me, I'm goofy. I'm a little crazy sometimes. I don't edit my bloopers. If I flub a word, if I say something incorrectly, I own up to it. That just makes me more authentic. But then I've seen people who, they do the radio voice and, they try to put on this whole personality. But then behind the scenes, like they, on camera, they'll say, hey, message me. I'll do A, B, and C for you. And guess what? When we get off camera, no, A, B, and C is seeing me later. They won't do a single thing. You gotta be careful with some people out there. It's good to be trusting, but not too trusting. There's a lot of, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of negativity out there. But don't let it get you down. Okay, I always tell everyone, YouTube is big enough for everyone. Everybody and their grandmother could have a YouTube channel. You could have 5 YouTube channels if you want. But for me, it's about having fun. I enjoy making content. I enjoy doing unboxings or, talking movies with people. I enjoy it. I mean, so much so that, and you were saying earlier you would love to be monetized. Well, that's the golden dream for everyone. Me, I'm kind of the mindset that personally, that's not going to necessarily that's not what I'm necessarily going to achieve personally. And that's perfectly fine. So now I'm shifting my channel where I'm still doing my unboxings, I'm still doing my streams, but now I'm opening the door for people like you so that you can get your channel out there. I mean, all these people you're seeing in the chat, probably before a week ago, you probably never saw any of these names before. But guess what, Nick? Now they know you. They know where to find you on Instagram. They know where to find you on YouTube now. And speaking of which, why don't we go there? So let's go ahead and do this right here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to this screen right here. And there it is.
You can also
Nick
find me on
Tellett,
Facebook too.
AKA Nick Channel. What was that?
You can find me on Facebook also. I
on
have
Facebook?
you can find me on Facebook also. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you ever stream on Facebook as well, or just on Instagram and YouTube?
I post my interviews on Facebook also.
Okay. Awesome. So, as you can see here, you know, Nick, you told me before you're all about Power Rangers, but you're also going to be doing a lot of content on Legend of the White Dragon.
Yes.
Now, how psyched are you for that movie when it comes out?
Very excited because it's JDF gas movie that he worked on, and his daughter seems like a nice person.
It's definitely a passion project between him and Bad in the Sun. They've worked on so many projects together. I'm glad that Aaron of Bad in the Sun is taking his time, doing a lot of editing, kind of polishing it up as best as possible, because him and JDF were best friends. Let's just catch up with a few people here. We got Greedo and Espeedo, So Swollen Duff Man. We got Duff Man's diorama in the chat. We also have Vader's girl. Vader, Kat, did you finish hanging up all those figures you just got? Duffman says he just subbed to you, Nick. There you go. We got Greedo saying hello to Rolando. Greedo just unsubscribed to me. Greedo, I know you're swollen right now. Don't front. We know. Everyone's saying hello to Mr. B, saying hello to Figure Fever. Everyone's here. And the reason why they're here is, well, they want to see some new YouTubers like yourself.
Yeah.
Now, in your own words, how would you, like, if someone walked up on the street and you wanted to talk about your channel, how would you describe your channel? Okay.
Go
ahead. I was just removing myself for a second. This time is all about you right now, Nick.
Okay. I will tell them about the channel I won. They call it about the Power Rangers podcast I won. I'll tell them. Thanks for this year.
Okay. Now, do you have anything? I know you have some great interviews on your channel. I can see you got. Let's take a look here. You got. Go through a few of yours right here. I mean, you got right on your main landing page. You got that interview with Ron Wasserman. Those that don't know, he is Power Rangers music all the way from back in the day. I mean, if anyone knows Power Rangers, they know Wasserman's music. He's done themes. I mean, he's done everything. He's just all over the place. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. We don't want YouTube to throw copyright strikes because I was featuring your channel. So you can see here, he's got a lot of interviews, a lot of videos. Why are you doing that? Jesus. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. So let's just go to your videos right here. So guys, he's got no short list of videos. He's got quite a few videos here. He's got a ton of shorts. Of course, well, we got the live that's going on right now. Now, Nick, have you ever been to a Power Rangers con or any Comic Con for that matter?
No, I would like to one day.
Now, you mentioned earlier to me you have an original 1993 Dragon Zord toy. Do you
Yes,
collect Power Rangers?
yes, I collect Power Ranger stuff too.
Okay, what would you say is your most prized Power
I
Ranger collectible right now?
that Dragon Sword I have, the Dragon Sword.
Okay. Any other items? Have you ever done a Power Ranger cosplay yourself?
No,
Would you?
if I know some cosplayers that does it. I have my own Facebook group for anyone that wants to join.
Okay, cool. And let me ask you. Now, obviously, you got into YouTube, but you had to have seen some people who inspired you, right?
Yeah,
So tell us your influences. Who are the YouTubers you were following that made you want to get into YouTube yourself? That made you say, "Hey, I can do this too."
the
Who
fan
are like
club,
some of your favorite YouTubers you check out?
the fan club, the Legacy of Nerd. The one that's been covering all St. John's case, Henley. You know who I'm talking about?
Actually, there's
Henley.
been quite a few people who've been covering it. Um, I know a couple YouTubers now. As far as the case, I've seen a lot of people cover it. A lot of different Ranger fans. I mean, me personally, I follow a few like MMPR Toys, Six Ranger. That's one that I follow a lot. Hey Archer of Nerd Affiliated has covered some Austin St. John content, like the T-shirt line that he released lately, which not exactly the most inspirational in my book. Um,
Yeah,
but you mentioned a few people like Legacy and a few others.
yeah, the fan club.
Okay.
You know Dan Buzz from the fan club.
Is he from
He's the one
Fanword?
that got me into
Is that what
YouTube.
you're referring to?
No, the
I'm not.
fan club. The fan
No,
club. He does.
I'm not familiar with the fan club.
Called the fan
Uh,
club.
okay. Maybe I'll have to look them up. But here's one of my Ranger friends right here, Ranger Restoration and Repair. He's an awesome Ranger and collector channel. You should definitely check out. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there anything you want to talk about right now? This time is yours. So, Nick, anything you want to talk about, bring it up.
What do you guys think? I like the idea that Hasbro and Playmates teamed up. You know, for the Power Ranger toy, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I know some people are having different opinions, but I think it was a good move.
Well, see, that is something that is a little bit of a complicated answer for me, and I'll explain.
Yeah.
Let's throw it out there. For the most part, Playmates is known for their Ninja Turtle line from back in the 80s all the way through now. They also did a Star Trek line, Star Trek and Star Trek: The Next Generation. Those figures actually were pretty good. They also did. A lot of people forget that they did a lot of. They did a lot of what would be called cosplay props now. Back in the day, they had some toy phasers, tricorders for Star Trek, communicators. They did the whole 9 yards. If they do that with Power Rangers, and depending on how they actually wind up looking, that's going to be the big discussion right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey Blue, yes, this is live. But for me, it's kind of a bad thing from a collector's standpoint. I'm going to explain why I feel it's a bad thing. Okay, someone like myself. Okay, a couple years ago, I started to about 3 or 4, maybe 4, about 4 or 5 years ago, I got back into collecting. I actually have a few of the Bandai action figures.
Yeah.
But then, of course, the brand went over to Hasbro, so now I had to go in on the Hasbro action figures, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for some collectors, they have about 4 or 5 different versions of the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger action figures. Okay, not
Yes.
even counting Super 7, which I also am collecting right now. That means that odds are Playmates is going to start all over again with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers,
Yeah,
which
because that's
means we
what
have yet
I heard. That's what
another.
sell.
What was that?
I heard that's what sells the most in Mighty Morphin. I heard that sells more is Mighty Morphin stuff.
Well, and
People would.
the reasoning behind that is this. It was the original. It's the one that everyone knows because back in '93 when it aired, when it originally premiered, that's what everyone, a lot of the older fans were introduced to. And then as
Yeah.
things as time went along, things started to change. Started to change. We started getting different seasons. Some people fell off, but then you got new fans who fell into each season as it went on. So I get that Mighty Morphin is the big one. Plus, that one went for three seasons,
Yes.
and then we got one-off seasons every season afterwards. So it's the thing is, as a collector, it's going to feel off-putting because, oh, we're now going to have to start collecting all over again. So that's where I don't want it to necessarily go to Playmates because we're going to have to start all over again. See, for a collector like myself,
Yeah.
that makes me leery of the whole situation. And two, we don't even know if the head sculpts are going to be worth anything because Hasbro's head sculpts were, for the most part, kind of trash. That's why all my Rangers keep their helmets on.
Yeah.
I have very few Power Ranger figures that I will even put or take a helmet off and leave the civilian head on. Very rarely will I even consider doing that. So I mean, some people is like, hey, it's a good thing. We're going to get more Power Ranger stuff, but I feel like it's going to be kind of recycled, maybe different scales.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at Turtles. Turtles is Playmates' big bread and butter, and they run it into the ground. I mean, they keep repeating, they keep recycling it over and over again. We want to be able to get new content, and we want action figures that are going to match up with that. We don't want to, there's going to be a new series, and then like, we have to wait 3 or 4, maybe 5 years before we get an action figure. I mean, that's what TV shows and cartoons back in the day were all about. They were basically commercials for the toys. He-Man and Masters of the Universe. The cartoon was basically a half-hour commercial for the toys. So I mean, there's an argument. There's going to be people who are on both sides of the conversation. I know some people who are psyched for it, and some people who are not. Big Figure says, Dave's mentioned that's true. Wonder if Playmates will go back to vintage 90s or all new body base. He's talking about like the old, remember I don't know if you remember the flip head Rangers where like there was like a switch and then like the civilian head kind of flipped from the chest and then you get the Ranger head. Will they will they come up with their own version of that? What will they actually do? So, I mean, there's a lot of discussions about that. Personally, I was enjoying Lightning Collection for the most part. I wanted to complete at least Lightspeed Rescue. I completed SPD. I completed a few, but Hasbro's, I mean, the quality has, I can't tell you how many times I've had poor paint quality on my action figures from Hasbro. That's why I jumped in on Super 7 because when they released the Mighty Morphin, the remastered, where it gave like the energy effect of them morphing, you had it where they could actually hold the morpher. They gave us a bunch of different accessories for those figures. Those were retailing for around $34, right? Well, for 55, you get more accessories with the Super 7. So what I've been doing is I've been waiting for Super 7 to go on sale, and then I buy them. But still, for around 35, maybe $40, you're getting a ton of accessories, a little bit more, better paint quality on them. But the problem is, they may not have all the posability as a Hasbro figure does. So there is a little trade off there, but they're a little bit bigger, and I think you get a lot more accessories. So I mean, there's arguments to be made all over the place. Yeah, Rolando says, will Playmate do articulated 3.75? 3 3/4 figures? Who knows? That may be the route they go to, but it also depends on the price points. I mean, are they going to sell us Power Ranger figures for under $20? Are they going to sell us Power Ranger figures for under $30? We don't know. And it's a thing where we have to wait around sometime in the middle or the latter half of 2025. So we're at least another year and a half at least before we see anything. Who knows if we'll get any sneak peeks. Hasbro, well, not to get off topic, but they've been kind of pushing off a lot of their own. I mean, right now their Ranger merchandise is being sold through 3.0, which I'm not mad at. You get a 1/6 scale action figure with soft goods and a ton of accessories. I have a 3.0 1/6 scale Green Ranger. Got it for $99, and I love it. It's like a sweet point between having a hot toy and having a proper action figure. Rolando says 3 3/4 for the win, and Ranger Restoration says, I still have windowless boxes I haven't opened. No clue what mess ups lie inside. Yeah, because when I was talking about poor paint apps, I've had it on, not on this one, but on some Ranger helmets where the paint, like the lines, do not match up. Or it almost looks like someone put poorly put on a decal around the helmet. You know? My Ninja Pink Rangers, they had like excess plastic on the back of their legs. It was something weird and freaky. So there's a lot to be hesitant about. It's great that we're going to get figures, and for those completionists, those people who have to have every figure of a line. I mean, let's be honest. Playmates know there will be people are going to buy those figures. Now, whether they're collectibles, whether they're sitting on a shelf somewhere in a Walmart or Target for a year or two before they wind up at Ross or Ollie's, who knows? We'll see what happens with it. It's anyone's guess, but we really won't see anything, at least for another year and a half. Yeah. And who knows if there's going to be any Ranger contents. I mean, personally, I've seen a lot of people, like you mentioned, Legacy of Nerd, and a few others. Yeah. You mentioned them. I've seen people, as soon as Boom announced that they were not going to be making Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics anymore, that's all that they announced. They announced that they would not be making Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics. That doesn't mean that they won't do another line of Ranger comics in some shape or form.
Yes,
they proved that their comics.
Not Mighty Morphin.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be Mighty Morphin. It could be a Zeo storyline. It could be Lightspeed Rescue. It could be, it could be Beast Morphers. It could be Lost Galaxy. It could be anything. But a lot of YouTubers now that's one thing I'm gonna point out is, personally, I'm not a big fan of clickbait. People who make a thumbnail just to sensationalize something just because, oh, well, what's this about? I'm gonna have to click on this and take a look. Legacy. Now I know you said Legacy of a Nerd is someone you look up to. Personally, I know him. I had known him for about probably 2 or 3 years, maybe about 2 years. But he and I, we don't run in the same circles anymore. He's a big person that likes to do, the clickbait, and honestly, he's the first one to Boom is not going to be making Power Ranger comics anymore. No, they're just stopping Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Who knows? This could be the end of Power Ranger comics, or guess what? They could be gearing up for a new launch that we don't even know about yet. Okay, because as much money as they were making, them and Hasbro, you can't tell me that they're just gonna shut shop down and give up on it. I mean, they edged out a brand new mythology for the Power Ranger comics. You know, they did so much. I mean, they made it was them who developed Lord Draken, the Ranger Slayer, and so many others. Hell, I think Hasbro could have gotten away with making their own line of Boom Power Ranger comics, and people would have went nuts for them. You know, Zordon in a suit. I mean, all the different stories that they did, and I have a stack of their comics, courtesy of my buddy Dre, the Collector Safe Space, who's a big comic book collector. So if you're into comics, you definitely should check him out. But there's so many people that do clickbait, and there's what was that?
I got some comic books also. I collect comic books also.
I mean, but I don't think it's necessarily the end of Power Ranger comics. I definitely think there's room. There's still so many stories that they could tell, alternate storylines. There's tons of stuff that they can do, but everyone is kind of focusing on, oh, it's the end of the Power Rangers. You know, even I did a stream that said, is this the end? Is this the end for the Power Rangers? Because how Hasbro's handling it, they're handling it in a very terrible way. It's very haphazard. It feels like everything's falling apart. I mean, but that can be said for a lot of their toy lines. They did it in the Indiana Jones line, which did not actually perform that well in the collector's world. I mean, we saw stuff get marked down right away. There was limitations on what they were doing. Transformers, they keep doing repaints and remolds of the same figures over and over and over again. You know, if someone made you burgers every day of the week for 3 years running straight in a row, you might start to get tired of having burgers every day. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on who you are. Yeah. Blue Sasquatch, Power Rangers Multiverse. Yeah. Make it happen, Boom. But ultimately, Boom has the rights, and, they don't have exclusive rights. They are working with, they work with Hasbro on it because Hasbro is the one who owns the rights to the Power Rangers right now. So they're kind of, Boom is relegated to like, hey, if Hasbro tells us to back off, we have to back off. I mean, from my understandings from interviews that I've watched and I've read, there's so much more that they have yet to tell. So many stories, and you can tell that they're passionate about those stories. So you can't tell me that they're running out of stories, that this is a decision by Boom Comics. I think they're ending the Power Ranger line, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger line of comics, and I definitely see plenty of room for new comics moving forward in the future. At least that's how I feel. What about you?
Yeah. I think they're still make comic books. I don't see them stopping. I don't see them stopping doing it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll stop making comic books. Because the comic books are popular than the TV show.
Well, I mean, the TV shows, they change each season, right? Each year, it's like a brand new Ranger story all over again. That was the thing. The original Power Rangers series, from MMPR all the way to Zeo, that was like 3 years. I mean, we had the original Mighty Morphin cast. Yeah. We had it when they were changed into kids, and then you had the Alien Rangers there, which I actually really enjoyed the Alien Rangers saga. And then, of course, we had, you had the Ninja Powers, the Thunder Zords. I mean, they did a lot over that course of 3 years. And I think that's what kind of throws some people off, is just having like a one Ranger cast season, or a one season, Ranger cast for only one season. That I think throws people off. I think that's why people, personally, I was not a fan of Ninja Steel, but that's neither here nor there. It was some of the casting choices on the show I didn't care for. Megaforce, a lot of the people I liked. Some of the people I wasn't it didn't have the best writing in my book personally. But Dino Fury and then Cosmic Fury was a straight home run for me. That was a great two season cast, and I thought they definitely could have done more. I'm hoping that they do more stuff. Personally, as a Ranger fan, I'm hoping that they do. And I want them to keep doing Once and Always every year. You don't have to stick with Mighty Morphin. You can have other casts come back. what are the alien what are the
Yeah.
alien rangers up to, or what's in space up to, you know? Can we see what Andros is up to right now,
Yeah.
or Lightspeed Rescue? It would be cool. I mean, yeah, we got those little sprinkles of cameos over the years, but I think it would be cool to kind of see where everyone else is. I mean, we got a glimpse of that with SPA with and Once and Always we got to see that Adam was in space, and they were SPA obviously, and they're in the Trubian galaxy, meaning that this is a precursor to SPD. So I mean, it would be cool to see where these stories go. Just do like a one-off every year, you know? Now, you mentioned before you definitely want to have Austin St. John as an interview. Are there any
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
Ranger actors or production people you might want to interview in the future?
Jonathan Entwistle, the one that's directing the Power Rangers reboot. The one
Okay,
that did the new director of Power Rangers. And then I like to
okay,
interview the Dino Fury cast.
okay. Anyone particular on Dino Fury?
Um, the Red Ranger.
Oh, so you want the actor who plays Zyto?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you, now you watch Cosmic Fury. How did you like having Emilia as a ranger, as the lead Red Ranger? How'd you feel about that?
That was awesome. It was something different. They actually had a female Red Ranger for a
Well,
full
I mean,
season.
we did have a female, well, not a Red Ranger, but a lead ranger. The Alien Rangers from Aquitar. The lead ranger, which was the White Ranger, she was the leader. So I mean, there are precedents for that, and I know that there was a lot of people kind of like up in arms and felt like, well, this isn't right. Who says it? Who says it's right? Who says it's wrong? I thought she was great, and it was awesome how like she didn't even realize that she was the Red Ranger. She was like, well, this is a really dark pink, but she proved herself. I mean, she was, she was definitely a strong backup leader in Dino Fury, and the fact that in right in the beginning of Cosmic, they lose Zato. They don't know where he is or what's happened to him. Her boyfriend has now turned evil again. And one of her fellow Rangers lost his arm. She's the one that stepped up and kept them together, kept them focused, and that was that proves that you're a leader. You don't have to be red to be a leader, but it's I love the story writing was a little bit more grown up, a little bit more enjoyable, and I hope that whatever iteration Power Rangers moves in the future, that's where it kind of stays, that kind of recipe, if you will, that vibe, that pattern. Now, if you were to choose a Power Rangers cast to bring back in the next installment of Once and Always, what season would you choose? Would you stick with Mighty Morphin, or would you go with a different series? That is correct as well, Mega Demons.
Donald Thunder.
Okay, so you
maybe going back to Kevin.
Well, let me ask you this: with Dino Thunder, would you just? I mean, obviously they would have to write out Jason David Frank, obviously, in some shape or form, like make it so that he's in space and he's dealing with a matter with the original MMPR Rangers. So then you just have, the four remaining ones. White, blue, red, and yellow. Is that where what you would go with?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. Now, do you have any big videos, any major streams coming up anytime soon?
I was supposed to be interviewing the Was the Yellow Ranger before Tree Train, the one that was in the pilot episode?
Oh,
The
the
original
original
Yellow
Yellow
Ranger was
Ranger. Okay.
in the pilot episode, Mighty Morphin.
Okay.
I'm supposed to
And
be
when
interviewing her in June.
okay, so
In
guys,
June,
next
I'm supposed
month,
to be interviewing her.
if you're a Ranger fan, definitely keep an eye out. That's gonna be a pretty hard one to kind of get because I don't see too many people tracking her down. So
Yeah,
how are you making that connection if you don't mind me asking?
I usually reach out to people on Facebook,
Okay.
and I messaged her on Facebook, and she said, and she gave me and she said yes when I asked her.
Okay. Very cool. Well, congrats on landing that interview, and we're going to be looking forward to that. Is there anything else? Is there anything you want to promote on your channel right now? Any videos you're going to be dropping this week or next week? Anything you want to promote right now?
I have some interviews I have planned, but nothing really.
Okay, so guys, stay
Nothing else
tuned
really.
to go ahead and follow Nick Tellett at Nick Channel on YouTube, Instagram, and of course, look for him on Facebook as well. And I want to thank Nick for taking time. Now, we did an early stream today so that Nick can actually do this interview. I'm sure you're very busy. Just want to thank you for coming on to the channel.
Yes.
And
Thanks for having me.
guys, like I said, go ahead and go into the video description below. You're going to find the link to his YouTube channel. And of course, you can look him up, like we said, on Instagram. Go ahead and look him up as Nick Tillett. And also look him up as Nick Tillett on Facebook. So I want to again thank Nick for coming out to the channel. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Mega Demon, we got Mega Demon and Collects in the chat. Good friend of the channel right there. Rolando for spreading the links. You are a man of many, many, many talents and many, many, many streams. Ranger Restoration Color and Repair. Figure Fever. Blue Sasquatch. Of course, this is live. And where's my pizza, Blue? Mr. B. Thank you, Mr. B Customs, for popping into the chat. He also was one of our sponsors for Stream for the Cure, which, by the way, I want to let everyone know, as of today, we've actually raised $750 for cancer research for Roswell Park. So I want to thank everyone who was a big part of that and made that stream successful. We did an 8.5-hour stream this past Saturday, nonstop, raising money for cancer research. Kat of Vader's Girl, want to thank her for coming through. Want to thank everyone who popped through. Duffman's Diorama, and so many others. Collecting with Cool, of course. You guys were all amazing. Greedo and Espeedo, even if he did unsubscribe. He didn't. I know he didn't. Pod Racing Palpatine. I just want to thank everyone for coming through, for checking out our boy here, Nick. Nick, you're going to wind up catching a few more subscribers. And I'll say this, never be afraid to be yourself. Okay? And don't be afraid of any haters, anyone who might try and put you down or say stuff. You know what? YouTube's big enough for everybody. I always say that, right? If you ever feel like you're pushed down, listen, I know it's a Batman line, but I'm going to say it anyways. The reason why we fall down, so we can pick ourselves back up. Nothing worth doing is ever easy. Okay? You've already, I'm looking at your channel. Let's see here. You are at how many subscribers? You're already at 135 subscribers. Okay? 135 subscribers with only 37 videos. That's pretty good, my friend. The first 100 subscribers are the hardest to get. Okay? Once you get there, it's just a matter of time. Okay? I've been on YouTube for 4 years, but I'm kind of all over the place. I'm also a bit energetic when I'm on streams. I'm in so many different interests, but sometimes that can be a bad thing. And I'm sitting at over 2,200 myself. It wasn't easy. There are days you're going to want to quit. Trust me, my friend, okay? There are going to be days you want to quit. There's going to be days where you question, why do you even do this? But just think of the times, just think of those videos where you enjoy the interviews. I mean, come on. I'm sure you get a kick out of talking with Wasserman. I see some of the videos, some of the interviews you've done. Connor Terrell, Omri Rose. I mean, you got a lot of great interviews here. Okay. I see some YouTubers out there, they get focused on like the real big names. You don't have to have the big names. I mean, sometimes it's the writers, it's the musicians, it's the people behind the scenes that have the most interesting stories out there. That's how I view it. You know, sure, it's nice to interview like Walter Jones or Amy Joe or, you know, Serena Vincent. Sure, those are amazing people I'm sure it's amazing because they're the ones in the suits. They're the ones we see on the screen. But there's a lot of heroes in the background. And those are the ones you're talking to, my friend. If it wasn't for these people, I mean, could you imagine Power Rangers without Wasserman doing the songs? You know? I mean, could you imagine what some of these seasons would be without certain writers or certain showrunners? Without those people, they wouldn't be the shows that we love. So keep that in mind, my friend, okay? So again, everyone, I'm going to ask you guys to go to the bottom, go into the description. Exactly, Mega Demon. Only haters put others down. Well, what I always say is keep your head up because only haters look down. Okay? So thank you, man. I appreciate that. Everyone's saying later. Mega Demon says, I'm already subscribed to Nick, so there's one of your subscribers right there, my friend. So I want to thank everyone for coming out. And as always, guys, you guys know every Tuesday night I do Tuesday Night Talks. And guys, I want you guys to message me. Email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com or Daves_Dimension at Instagram. Just message me there. If you want your channel to be featured on the next Tuesday Night Talks, message me. If you have an Instagram, a Twitter, a TikTok, whatever you stream on, whatever content you are making, even if you got an Etsy store and you want to promote yourself, the portal is open. The Dimension is here. We are the Dimension. And guys, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting. And I'm always going to catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.